I feel like we as black people, we need to stop trying to be included in white people's stuff. In front of a room full of white people at a white event created by white people for white people that promotes white people. What's up, y'all? It's Shira from the Working Code, and today I'm coming at y'all with a video on why do black people feel the need to be accepted by white people? Like, what is it? What is it? So if you're interested in hearing what I got to say about that, and really I'm touching on what happened at the Oscars with the slap. Yeah, if you feel like you want to hear what I got to say about that, then stay tuned.
Work, 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 work. You see me have you work, 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 work. You see me do me da 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 da.
Okay, y'all, please don't mind my background because my bed is broken. The longest story ever. The longest story ever about my bed being broken. The longest story ever. Anyways, I don't want to get into it, y'all. It's just all right, we're not even gonna get into that. Okay, let's go. So yeah, let's talk about it. So just a little recap. If you didn't catch it, I don't know if you live on, like, you know, the back alley of like some island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea or something, and you haven't heard about what happened. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars, and not like a little, like he slapped his ass, like slapped him. Okay, like only thing he was missing was some baby powder. I was in disbelief, honestly, truly, in freaking disbelief. So that's what happened, and you know, the conversations that have been spewing or, you know, starting around that, you know, to me it makes me think like, y'all, when I say y'all, I'm talking about us skin folk, people this color and lighter and darker, but not people this color. Like, y'all want to be accepted by white people so bad. Like, for why? What did white people do for y'all so bad that y'all want to be accepted by them? Like, what is it? Like, I'm confused. Like, I don't understand. Like, people seem to be more offended at the fact that this happened, like, at the Oscars or something. Like, you know, I feel it's two sides about it, though. I feel two ways about it. Like, on one end, I feel like, you know, y'all was just Oscar so white last year or year before that, whenever that was. Y'all was hashtag Oscar so white. But then they, you know, do things to be more inclusive, aka let the niggas in. And then, you know, y'all complain about the way they react to things. But y'all knew Oscars was so white when y'all was preaching about Oscar so white. And y'all still wanted to be invited. Y'all still wanted to be included in their white institution. So I don't understand what is all the Oscars so white. You know, what was all that for when now they treating you just how white people always have treated black people? Scolding and reprimanding black people for things that white people do and get no consequences. For things that white people have been doing way worse and get no consequences. Like, I genuinely want to know, what did y'all expect? Hold on, y'all. It's hot as fuck. Like, I genuinely want to know, what did y'all expect? Like, y'all knew Oscars was so white. So every example that the Academy has, everything the Academy has said, the LAPD, any other official organizations, what they have said, you know, towards the whole situation where a black man assaulted another black man in front of a room full of white people at a white event created by white people for white people that promotes white people. I don't know what the surprise is. Like, that's they shit. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, it's mind-boggling to me. Like, y'all be so surprised and appalled and disgusted and disheartened when white people do what white people been doing since forever. I don't get it. Like, I don't get why black people feel the need to be accepted by white people so bad. Like, for what? For why? Anybody got an answer? I didn't think so. But yeah, like, I don't get that. And then on the other hand, I feel like, you know, it got more so blown out of proportion, and maybe not so blown out of proportion, but they got a response that that same situation wouldn't elicit if the slapping situation were to have happened with two white men. You know, I feel like, of course, because it was two black men in a predominantly white space, that the reaction is much different than, you know, what we would have got for the opposite. So I feel both ways about it. Now, I'm gonna just tell y'all my personal opinion. I feel like we as black people, we need to stop trying to be included in white people's stuff. Let them folks have their stuff. I am like, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of history because y'all know I'm an HBCU graduate. Shout out to North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, the best university in the world. Also the nation's #1 historically black college / university. Just give y'all a history note. But anyway, like, I feel like as black people, we need to do for ourselves. Let's recognize ourselves. Let's put as much value and esteem into our own institutions, into our own things. Like, we have awards like the Stellar Awards, right? And the BET Awards and whatever other awards. I'm not really too privy to all of the awards that are, you know, available in the entertainment world, but those are just a few I know off the top of my head that are predominantly black, created by black people. I know we used to have like the Source Awards and things like that, but it, you know, got a little drama, so they kind of cut it out. Things just fell off, benzene on them. But, you know, whatever. At the end of the day, let's have our own spaces where we celebrate ourselves. Like, you know, I feel like there's no need for us to try to impress white people or feel like we have to act a certain kind of way to be approved by white people. Like, for what? What the fuck do we need white people approval for? Does it really impact our lives as black people that much where it makes our lives that much better by getting approval of white people? Like, for real? Like, if you jump and dance in their face, hey, master this, master that, like, you really think they're going to treat you better? They're still going to laugh and talk about you. Like, that's why, like, when black people will be like, oh, they so support Donald Trump, like, why? Because he's racist in your face. So, like, if somebody come to your face and tell you, like, hey, I hate you because you're black, is that better than them telling you, than them saying it behind your back? Like, I'm confused. Like, the rhetoric that some of y'all come up with is really mind-boggling. Like, so I think we got to stop trying to impress white people. Like, what do we get from that? What do we get for selling our soul for what? For what? For what? Like, what do we get for selling our soul? We get no money, nothing in return. Nothing in return. Like, I'm not gonna try to impress nobody. I don't care who you are. I'm living my life for me, and I feel that we as a whole, as black people, need to live and be unapologetic for who we are and exist in our own spaces. And I feel like Malcolm X was onto something when he was on the kind of, you know, anti-segregation, separate but equal or separate but better. Like, I don't see a need for integration, for forced integration. Like, we can create our own spaces. Like, yes, we do have limits to the amount of capital, access, business ventures, and things like that. But that does not prevent us from creating our own spaces. We have celebrated ourselves since the beginning of time. We have made do with things that we with lack of resources. Like, we turn nothing into something all the time. That's what black people are known for. Like, how you think that we got all these culture vultures? Like, we are the motherfucking culture. Did y'all not know that, or did y'all just forget? Like, black people, we are the culture. So to me, I don't understand, you know, kind of what the antsiness is of being accepted. Like, you can't force nobody to, like, accept something or someone. You just can't do it. And I just feel like if we didn't have this expectation of white people to just accept us and praise us and give us the awards that they give their friends and the accolades, you know, then we wouldn't be feeling this sense of being let down. Like, for what? What are we doing this for? Like, I think we really got to look at that and question ourselves. Like, what as a whole, like, why do we feel so they need to be accepted? Like, why did black people feel like we got to be included so much in the Oscars? For what? Why? Just so them people can sit up there and talk about y'all just like they doing now? Just so them people can threaten to remove Will Smith from their academy? Just so they can call LAPD on him? Like, for what? Just so they can get up here and make their remarks on their news stations about Jada need to put on a wig? Like, why do we as black people feel the need to be accepted by these white folks so bad? I really want to know. And then, like, I also think Marcus Garvey, he was onto something with the whole, you know, with the Black Star line, which was his, if y'all don't know, Marcus Garvey was a black, I don't want to say civil rights person, but he was definitely a black activist for black people, for our rights, for our wealth, for just us being treated as humans. But his whole platform, you know, his philosophy was we can return back to where we came from. Like, we don't have to be here, period. But, you know, like, we can create our own spaces pretty much. Like, his philosophy, he wanted to create a space in Liberia, I believe. It was somewhere in West Africa. He wanted to create like a community, you know, colony, country, community, whatever you want to say, of black people. And, you know, we just have our own everything, like, for us, by us, boo boo. Like, create our own everything, like our own banks, hair salons, real estate companies, transportation, schools, restaurants, like, you know, that's what I believe that, like, we should focus on. Like, I feel like a lot of y'all had this outdated mentality, like W.E.B. Du Bois, about, like, the talented 10th. Like, there's this societal high class of black people, and, you know, like, we should all look up to them, and they are the epitome of black people, and, you know, fight for them to have this, you know, so the rest of us can strive to do it. You know, kind of like the monarch is in, you know, countries that have a monarch, like England. You know, like, oh, it's this high class of people, you know, everyone should aspire to be like them, and they're the, you know, the best, and, you know, we're gonna strive to be like them one day. Like, no, let's just be realistic. 80-90% of people not gonna be like them. Why put all our hopes and beans into one basket for the 1%? Like, for what? Not saying that we should not support our 1%, not saying we should not support our wealthy black people, but to say that, what do we get from not supporting us all as a whole, as a collective? Like, what about the poor? What about the uneducated? What about the disabled? What about the queer? What about the fat? Like, what about all these different subgroups of black people? Like, we cannot just put all our hopes and dreams onto these higher class or these wealthy people and thinking like they represent us. In a sense they do, but in a sense they don't. Like, the way Will Smith got on that stage and was crying, talking about he let people abuse him and he tired of it. So you let these white folks abuse you so that you can get more accolades and fame in their world, in their eyes, because you been the shit to black people since like the 90s. So you let these white folks abuse you and misuse you and underpay you and God knows what other types of abuse he was referring to that had him at the brink of tears. Well, not at the brink, that had him standing up there crying. You let these white people abuse you to be accepted by them, paid by them, to be in their movies and screens and things like that. And then you take it out on the black person. Like, I'm a little confused. I'm a little bit confused. Really, I don't really know what his stance is. But, you know, on that topic, I do feel that, you know, it was a mental health episode. It does exhibit characteristics of bipolar disorder. Like, in a matter of 7 to 10 minutes, he was laughing, he was angry, and then he was crying. I didn't really see any remorse. So, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say he's a narcissist. I don't know him personally. However, I didn't really see any remorse. But that seems like definitely a mental health episode, which is a whole other topic in itself about black people and mental health and how we don't have the, you know, I don't want to say the cognitive dissonance, but we don't have the support in the mental health area as we should as a community. But needless to say, like, you know, he did what he did. He did what he did. But I feel like, all in all, we need to create our own spaces, right? It's important for us to continue to create our own spaces. Everybody don't have to be the honcho. All y'all want to be the head chef. Some of y'all need to be chopping the onions. Some of y'all need to be stirring the pot. Some of y'all need to go buying the onions. Some of y'all need to be doing a little bit of everything. Everybody always want to be on top. How about we all collaborate and put our talents together? And let's create our own spaces, our own academies, our own recognition for our own people where we don't feel the need that we have to fit and squeeze and bend and twist and contort our bodies to fit in these spaces where we feel like that's what we have to do. Because nobody really blatantly tells us, oh, you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do that. But black people, we feel some kind of acceptance. I don't know if it's pride or joy or something by, you know, if you want to say the word assimilating, integrating ourselves into these spaces that were created for white people. Then we want to huff and puff till the walls come down about how they should accept us. They made this shit for them. This they shit. Y'all mad at them for they shit. Like, let's make our own shit. Since when did we need them to make our own shit? That's just how I feel about it. Like, that's just how I feel about it. We got to stop yearning for white acceptance. Like, that does not save us. that has not saved us, that has not improved the quality of lives of black people being accepted by white people. You still cannot change nobody's mind. You cannot force yourself upon nobody. People gonna think what they want to think, do what they want to do. Our best bet is to worry about our motherfucking selves. Sweep around our own front door. Then maybe if we in the spirit, walk next door to the neighbor and sweep their front door. But for now, we got a lot of dirt on our own front door. That of course we didn't put on our front door. We know we didn't put it there. But let's focus on sweeping our own dirt off our own front door. That's just how I feel about it, y'all. You know, you don't have to like it. You don't have to agree. But, you know, tell me what you think. Leave me a comment. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. What did y'all think about the Oscar slap, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock? What did y'all think about, you know, what I was saying about us creating our own spaces? Like, what do y'all think about all of this? Like, I really want to know. If you know a friend or somebody that would like this video, tag them below, please. And yes, I will talk to y'all later.
Work, 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 work. You see me have you work, 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 work. You see me do me da 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 da.